Greetings and welcome to the Halloween edition of the Sliders Review. Alright, let's address the elephant in the room. I know it's not Halloween. Alright, that's long past. But when it came to my Halloween videos, I ran out of time and I couldn't upload everything I wanted to. So that's why I'm uploading them past Halloween. But if you stop and look at it like this, at some point in time, it's gonna be Halloween time again, October. So somebody eventually will stumble upon my videos and watch it around Halloween time. So yeah, and I'm here today to talk to you about Goosebumps, House of No Return. House of No Return came out in the third season and it's the third episode. It's a really cool episode. At first, when it starts off, you're not kind of sure what direction it's gonna take. Because it seems just like a bunch of kids and like, this and that. But there is the creepiness of what is inside the house. And so towards like the end, it gets really, really spooky and everything. And really creepy. And that twist ending. There's two. That's weird in these things. It's always two twist endings in these shows and stuff. And so, like, the twist is what made this episode so amazing and everything. You are not expecting this. Like, you're really not. And when watching this episode, I didn't really know what to expect because, like, it deals with that of a haunted house type thing. And it deals with that of a ghost. Well, the episode before that was on My Best Friend's Invisible. It turned out that ghost was really just a boy and he was invisible. And the people who were actually there are aliens and stuff. And so I didn't really know what to expect with this episode. But it's ironic that they're back to back. And, I give it up to them. I give it up to them for finding the location of the house. I give it up to them for the interesting cast. I give it up for them for that amazing twist and everything. Now, ironically, the entire cast of this episode never reappear in Goosebumps again. And that's kind of interesting because you would expect them to like at least pop up in another episode or two. But they sadly do not. So what does this deal with? Well, it deals ironically with a group of kids, a trio that are part of an organization called Danger Incorporated. It's a stupid little kids club. What's interesting about these three kids, Robbie, Nathan, and Lori, is that they're butt heads. It's very rare for R.L. Stine to make the main characters of the show the bullies and everything. But are they really bullies? Not really. They're just butt heads and stuff. They think they're better than other people. They force people to go into a haunted house and all this other crap. Basically, they just want more members in their little club, and nobody really wants to join. And the initiation is they have to spend an hour in this haunted house at night. And of course, people don't want to do that, and they never make it past like a few minutes and stuff. But these kids, first let me just say they are so 90s. Oh my god. Robbie is probably the most 90ish of all R.L. Stine's like Goosebumps television show like characters. This dude looks like he could be part of a boy band in the 90s. I am not kidding you. He looks like he could be in a boy band. It takes me back, man. The memories. Boy bands was actually pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? I don't knock boy bands. I remember back in like high school, it was unpopular to admit that you liked the boy band group, but me and this other dude did, and everybody's all like, "What, you like boy bands? What's wrong with you?" Blah blah blah. They can sing, they dress cool, and they got all the ladies. So, anyways. They put this boy named Doug inside the house while they're like in the bushes. And, they really, that's weird. They always want somebody to join, but they don't ever think that person's cool enough to join, but they want more members. So Doug is freaking out and talking about let me out and everything. He busts open the door and he just bails. And he said, it touches my face and everything. And they're all like, it touched my face? What does that mean? They think he's just being an idiot and just goofing around. So now they're bummed and everything. Well, as they're about to leave, Nathan loses his $5. Now this is added into the show. It's not in the book. And Nathan's all like, "Oh man, I had to work hard for that $5." Now this always has pissed me off. Why is it that the black dude, and it's very rare for a black person to be in Goosebumps, to have a main character arc. Why is he the one so concerned about, oh man, I lost my $5 and I had to work hard? What do you work hard for to earn $5? $5? What he had to do? Take out the trash? So that always bugged me. And then when he does find his $5, the wind blows it into the house. Now, what's interesting about this is that Goosebumps is filmed in Canada. But it's an American show. Well, it's an American-Canada hybrid. So it's interesting. They actually brought money from America to, like, you know, put on the floor of their, like, you know, shoot. And because I was expecting Canada money, but it's not. So that's always interested me. And I found fascinating. So in a way, something's like creepy is going on in the house. He gets the money and they bail. Now, there's a kid in town named Chris. He's brand new. And Chris is a very nice, well-polite guy. And when he's talking to his mom wants him to make friends. So he's all like, well, I make friends. You make me a cheeseburger. Boy, every time he says that, makes me want a cheeseburger. I love cheeseburgers. But he wants it with bacon. That's a kid after my own heart. So he's walking around and Danger Incorporated sees Chris. And they want him to join because they know he's a new kid. So they all like, yo, man, we want you to join our organization. All you got to do is stay in that house for an hour. And they're like, you like scary movies, don't you? You're like, nope. He closes his eyes and he leaves and ditches them. They are pissed because they think he thinks he's better than them. Well, when they finally have their meeting one night, or one afternoon, you know, it's so stupid. He's like, is there no new business to talk about? It's so stupid dialogue. So basically, Robbie is pissed. He wants more members in the organization, but the other two's like, look, man, 3 is just fine. He's like, no, we need more people. So they try their best to convince Chris again. They call him up and are like, yo, man, let's go to the mall. Walking to the mall at night. So they're walking around. And of course, where do they take him? The haunted house. Now, it's different in the book. It's trick-or-treating and stuff. And so, anyways, they force him into the house. But before they even forced him into the house, earlier that day, when they took him to the house, they told him of a couple that once lived there many years ago, back in the olden days. A couple built that house. They had a kid. The kid fell through the floorboard and died. And so it drove the wife mad. So he does not want to be in the house. But when I say they force him in there, not by they they force him in there. And it's kind of disturbing to see how they forced him into that house. Anyway, he's in the house and they tell him he has to be there for an hour. He is creeped out. He does not want to be there. The house interior looks amazing. They really dressed that house up nice. So he's wandering around the house. He's trying to get out. They won't let him. After a while, we get our classic Goosebumps bats just flying around. Bad CGI. And then some creepy stuff starts happening in the house. A vase is broken. Somebody cleans it up. And we hear a voice talking about, like, you know, to him. Like, where is this voice coming from? Well, it's been about 15 minutes. And the other two want to let Chris out. But Rob is like, nah, he has an hour. Now, what's interesting about Danger Incorporated is that the trio has never been in the house. And they never had to be initiated. But they forced everybody else to. Bottom line is they're too scared. So at some point in time, we hear a voice talking about, we're coming down, we're coming down. And they scared the piss out of Chris. But who scared the piss out of him? As Chris starts seeing things floating around like the house and stuff. Well, a whole hour has passed. And the gang has not heard from Chris yet, screaming or nothing. So they try to get inside, but it's boarded up. When they bust open the door, they see somebody boarded the door up. They go around the house. They're looking for Chris. Chris is nowhere to be found. Where is Chris? It's spooky. It's scary. The kids are getting freaked out. They go into another room. When they come out, the door has been reboarded back up. They think Chris has probably done that when they was in the other room, but how could he do that so fast? It starts to lighten, it's about to rain, and then the big reveal of the ghost couple comes down the stairs talking about we're coming. And I'm just like, it sounds kind of corny when they say it, but it's freaky when you see them. The makeup on them is amazing, the clothes is ancient and amazing. They scare the piss out the trio and everything, talking about like how they love children. His wife loves kids, but and of course they know what happened to their kid and everything. But kids, they always get to keep, and now they get to add more kids to it. And they're all like, "Where's Chris?" And they're all like, "Oh, Chris, he's gone." And they're like, "Gone? What do you mean?" He's like, "Oh, he split." Chris made us a very good offer and everything. And it's such a great offer, my wife could not refuse. So they let Chris go. What was it? Chris told them that in about an hour, 3 kids are gonna come into the house. And what would you rather have? 3 kids or 1? So they let Chris go. Boy, Chris is a mastermind. And they can't believe Chris sold them out like that. So now the ghost let them know that you 3 kids are now our new children, and you're gonna stay here forever. And they just hold out their hands walking towards the kids with creepy looks on their faces that are amazing as the lightning is hitting. It was one of the best twist endings I've ever seen in Goosebumps, man. It was played beautifully. It was lit beautifully. Everything was just amazing with that twist ending, and it just ends. I love it to death. It is one of like the coolest Goosebumps episodes ever. Them kids are literally trapped there for the rest of their lives until they die. And then they will literally be in the house forever and ever and ever because they will be ghosts. If that's not dark for a kid show, man, I don't know what is. That wasn't that spooky. Alright, well, I shall talk to y'all later. Bye.